silence. And I would challenge each and every one of us to use this free of charge, something you can do on your own time. It is a way to experience peace, even if you never have before. Even if you're sitting there in silence and you're feeling a lot of angst and fear, keep at it. Set a timer. Set a timer, everybody. You don't have to sit for an hour. You'd be surprised how much you shift. Today, I sat for 16 minutes and I absolutely felt what I like to call the wind, because it's like a lightness that goes through your body, mind, and spirit. That's how I experience it. I dare to say that the vibration of peace is so pure. It's like water. It's gonna land on everybody's skin in a different way. So feel it out, experiment, play with it. You're free to do that. No one can stop you. So one of our few freedoms that we have left. Just kidding, that was a joke.
No, I'm sorry to say that is so sorry.
I know, it's so hard. But anyways, guys, no, we're not here to lament. We are not here to lament. We are getting empowered with the energy of peace. The next point. So sit in silence was the first one. The second point of peace, starting with the letter S, is stop self-criticism. Stop it right now. Self-criticism kills. I'm sorry to have to use that word, but it does. And it's a very dangerous way to spend your mental energy. It's a dangerous thing to invest our time and thoughts into. So I'm just going to tell a little bit of a story, if you will indulge me, about how my life changed when I put down self-criticism. So I was always the kind of person who, if my friend made a mistake, if a family member made a mistake, if one of my students made a mistake, I would sit them down and be like, don't you worry about this one bit. And I meant it from the bottom of my heart. But if Khalilah made a mistake, immediately, how could you be so stupid? How could you do something like that? You're a bad person. This is my self-talk at that time. And when I finally was sitting in the silence one day and I realized that the meanest voice in my life was my own, I cried. I remember it was a Tuesday. I cried because I was holding me back by constantly telling myself that I wasn't good enough in all these ways, that I'm always making mistakes. My self-talk was always like, you always do this and you never do that. All the anger, carrying failures from 20 years ago. Why?
Right.
The weight of failure from 20 years ago was still with me, and I punish myself every day. If we could find it in our hearts and in our souls to stop self-criticism, it will free up, if you're anything like me, 46% of your energy right away. And you can now use that energy for good. You can now use that energy to rearrange the patterns of your mind. Is it easy? No, because our whole entire brain is a program. Our whole entire way of thinking is a habit that it gets reinforced on a daily, hourly, minute-to-minute basis. So it's not easy to stop. But a good way to do that is when you hear those negative thoughts, it's not just negative thoughts, it's negative thoughts that you really believe about yourself, that are consistent, persistent patterns that form your relationship with yourself. I'm not a doctor or anything. I am a person who has hurt myself for years with repeated self-criticism. And studies have shown that it is the number one thing that de-geniuses human beings.
Wow.
It takes your mental power from learning at genius level to like below average levels. And It happens to all of us by age 5.
If you've just joined us here on Radio KKUP, my special guest is Khalilah Ramirez. She has a website, The Peace Dancer.